So for my regulars out there and for people who came in when we're doing mostly standard, between now and when rotation happens in October, I'm planning to do 2 Magic Online decks every morning, because while I don't think this current standard format is awful, it's also a pretty far cry from the format we had at a fresh rotation last standard format, where it was like, honestly, the best format of Magic I've ever played. While there's plenty of interesting things to do in standard, it's nothing special, and I want to get some variety, and I'm having pretty similar amounts of Magic Online and Magic Arena submissions, and the Magic Arena numbers are kind of down overall, so I think it's a good opportunity to do a little bit more modern and non-rotating formats in the morning. So my plan is to continue doing 2 non-rotating decks every single morning between now and when rotation happens in the fall. And while I'm not going to have every day run as long as I did yesterday, my plan is to do 3 to 4 standard decks in the afternoons on most days. So, at any rate, let's go ahead and jump on into this next one here. We're going to play some Esper Mentors. This is a deck list that kind of popped up around the fringes on Magic Online with the introduction of Unearth as a card. So, 1 mana, return target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, one of the problems with Monastery Mentor in Modern, historically speaking, is that it's frequently died before you can trigger it. And having copies of Unearth means if your turn 3 Mentor dies, you can generally untap, bring your Mentor back, and start triggering it right away the following turn. Force of Negation is also another way that we can theoretically protect our Mentor that we tap out for on turn 3 to give us a chance to untap with or trigger it before that happens. So let's go ahead and dive on into a league here with this one and see how it goes. Teferi has come for us yet again. Yep, and Teferi never rotates out of this one. Non-rotating formats are my favorite. I can't stand rotations if I like the format. Yep, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of people that like, I mean, like, my content hit full-time just doing Modern, right? So there's plenty of people out there that support Modern. I think my last sub-survey had something like 70% of my June sub-survey a little over a month ago. I love data. There were 69.6%, so over 2/3 of the people that pay my bills from this sub-survey sample said that they enjoy some amount of Modern on Magic Online, so that's a pretty big chunk. Pretty big chunk. Enough to justify doing two in the morning if I feel like doing 2 in the morning. This is fine. It doesn't have a threat in it, but it's got a cantrip that hopefully help us find one. We got all of our colors of mana. Got a couple of disruptive elements here. Yeah, I actually had posted a tweet this morning, Dude Light, about not really, the latest patch not really clicking for me. They made the Underlords, this Underlords patch made the game really aggressive, which made it kind of brutal and fast, and doesn't really give you time to recover when you have bad luck in the early game. Wow, they just Force of Negated my Inquisition. Deal. Hymn to Torok resolves. To be honest, Jeff, it is one of the main reasons I decided to sub. Data tells the truth. Yep. Data, people lie with data, but data doesn't lie itself. Hey, Irate, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Ooh, where's my dashboard? I'm currently timed out, but take these bucks to add JAC back with Echo of Eons. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. All right, so I assume, and actually, I'm going to play... I'm going to do this to play around Curse Catcher. Yeah, Legacy's content's a tough sell. I accept Legacy decks when people submit them, but I do have a premium on them because they're just not, and the format's just not as popular as things like Modern. Like Legacy videos on average get a lot less views. One of the reasons why I'm hoping Pauper content works out. Got a few more of those because hopefully Pauper's a little bit more accessible. Thanks, Bunny. I really wish the Magic Online team would take the time to integrate the ability to get a mouse overlay on Arena or on Magic Online. It would make it so much more accessible. I think there's a number of people who have gotten into Magic via Arena and don't mind that Magic Online looks a little bit ugly, right? But they just can't get into the format because they don't know what all the cards do. Yeah, I agree, Doomfeast. I agree. And we'll see. Maybe that deck was an outlier. That's why we're gonna do two more Pauper decks at a minimum and see how it goes after that. 25 matches is a pretty reasonable sample size. So they get to put old Tricky Dick into play here off the Vial and tap this, and then they're gonna attack me to 9. But then I have a Path to Exile up here, which is great. Ooh, that's Lord of Atlantis was a unfortunate rip. Take Miro Rejury. There aren't game logs for Moto, Tiwui. That's the reason. They need to add a game log. So if they added a game log, that would be fine. So I'm actually going to block here because I think I'm going to Path and then Unearth Snap Path. Oh, the log on the side of the screen? That would be really clunky. All right, so I think because I drew this Fringe Prodigy, I'm actually just going to go ahead and play that and pass here. Rather than shock in the Hallowed Fountain and then play the Snapcaster Mage back out. Thanks for the heads up, Gindi. I appreciate it. There's a lot to do in between decks, and sometimes I miss it. They draw a Lord. Just a Silvergill. Sure, this gives them a redraw to Lord. If they miss on a Lord this turn, we might be okay. JAC went 3 and 2. It was, in fact, a real Modern deck. All right, let's start with this. I'm going to start by opting here. Narset's not particularly useful. Force of Negation not particularly useful. So yeah, I think the plan here is plus this on the Silvergill Adept, and then Unearth the Snapcaster Mage, path something. Oh, actually, so I think I'm supposed to actually -2 attack this. Because if they played a Lord, the Snapcaster Mage can trade with Silvergill Adept when a Lord's out, but Snapcaster Mage cannot trade with Kumena Speaker while a Lord's out. So I think I used Telepath Unbound on the wrong creature here. Island Walk. They have lords that don't give Island Walk, though, punishing waterfalls. They have both Merfolk Mistbinder and, where's he? And Miro Redream. They had another Tricky Dick, and it didn't matter anyways. Got it. Down to 4. I think I'm going to snap Op to start. See where we end up at. It's a pretty good one. Unfortunately, I can't double Fatal Push this turn. I think I just pass because I want to be able to Fatal Push an Island Walk Lord if they draw one. Sure. Yeah, but if I use this to flashback the Opt, I then can't use it to give something -2 power, which is relevant. Whenever I'm supposed to cycle this Unearth. I'm probably supposed to cycle this Unearth, huh? If I hit, like, another removal spell, I'm in a pretty good spot. That's, expected, I guess. Dead to an Island Walk Lord here, unfortunately. That's a redraw. Yikes, Force of Negation. Maybe I'm just supposed to flashback Opt here. Hopefully they draw another Spreading Seas. Yeah, they only counter non-creature spells, though. Big Jacks. So, like, if they could counter anything, it would not be a big deal. They draw a Lord. Why didn't they just try and Echoing Truth my blockers and attack for lethal? I'm so confused. I mean, obviously it wouldn't have worked because I had these Force of Negations, but, like, seems like a really bad line from my opponent there. Oh, my blockers have Flash. Duh. That makes sense. I'm dumb. Ignore me, I'm dumb. My opponent's fine. Ignore me, I'm dumb. I'm gonna pass here. I'm gonna pass. Hey, Mulder, yeah. Yeah, anybody, it's a good general invitation. If you are someone, especially a sub, who is going to Gen Con and would like to say hello at some point or get something signed, be sure to be in the subs Discord. We'll be talking in the IRL events there closer to time. Nah, I don't really do Grand Prix. Grand Prix are super expensive. Oh, they killed my Jace. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Jace effectively kills one of their things, and I'm still dead on board, right? Is there a difference between being at 3 and being at 2? There is. It's the difference between dying to a non-island lock lord and not. So let's play Narset to start here in Impulse. Looking for a Doomblade. None of those are Doomblade, huh? I guess Unearth gets me back Snapcaster Mage, which recasts Thought Scour. I unfortunately don't have double black, so I can't Unearth Snap and then Unearth, I can't Unearth Snap and then Snap Unearth Jace, because I'm short of black mana. Alright, looking to Fate a Lord. If they draw another land here, we're going to be in a pretty reasonable spot. Yeah, if there had been a mentor in our first 30... Ooh, we actually just found one, speaking of finding a mentor. No attack there is really good for us. I think I want to just Time Raveler here. I think Hexdrinker is really good. I've yet to be. I don't see what other people see in Wrenn and 6. It's not a card I've been impressed with. The old turn your Inquisition into a removal spell roundabout way. Hey, Mick Lamb, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Welcome. Bump Naya Feather deck up in the queue. Definitely. Thanks for keeping me around. This path to exile probably means we're good to go here, right? This deck's been kind of sweet. Been a good game of Magic. To floop this mentor back into play here now. And I get to draw step Inquisition them here. I get you to sign Goblin Guides as Geoff. I don't know where my Geoff mask is actually. Now if they hit a 2-drop Lord here, I'll have to path it, but otherwise I get to do this. So any 1 or 3 mana thing here is good. Jeff, please stop, Jeff. Please stop. Please stop, Jeff. All right, and we're not going to path until they attack because I want them to attack headlong into my death squad. Bye, Felicia. Like I said, the path likely locks it up. Yep, opponent concurs. Path locks it up. It was a long game one. All right, so extra path comes in here. Engineered explosives is good here. Collective brutality seems fine. Force of negation is really, really bad. Thoughtseize is kind of mediocre. That seems fine. You know, I'm actually going to board in my one Stony Silence over a Narset. Narset's kind of mediocre. She's kind of hard to protect. And turning off their Aether Vial sounds great. You give green black elves any piece of tech, what would it be? I'd like Finehorn elves. I'd like a third 1-mana dork that's an elf that taps for green. Shaper Sanctuary. Woof. Woof. We need a mentor ASAP to beat this card. Grinding them out like we did last game is no longer on the table. Because Shaper Sanctuary lets them draw a card whenever we target their stuff. So that being said, I'm still pretty obligated to just kill this lord here, I think. You know, it's gonna Fatal Push plus Opt this turn. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Maybe I'm supposed to do that during their upkeep so they can't force for free. Because you can only force for the alternative cost on my turn. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to just do that during the upkeep. Hey, what's going on, Trax? Good morning. Hope you had a good stream. So now they can hard cast Force for mana, but I also don't really want to give them an extra untapped land next turn. Chilu! Thank you for the 3 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Wow. The Force of Negations. The Force of Negations mean that I don't even have those spells to snap back now. Man, that's brutal. Yeah, the exile clause being super relevant here. I think we're dead, right? Yeah, we're very dead. Double force plus Shaper Sanctuary. It was great there. Yeah, the Shaper Sanctuary just ensured for them, they just had a steady flow of cards to keep up from the card disadvantage that Force of Negation was otherwise generating for them. Hey, good morning, kind fiend. Yeah, Snapcaster Mage explicitly recasts a spell based on its converted mana cost, not alternative cost. So it doesn't say you can cast it, it says it gains flashback equal to its converted mana cost. Or equal to its casting cost or whatever. Hey, Skullmorn, thanks for the 11 months support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I would like this Shaper Sanctuary, please. That one right there. That otherwise says I lose the game. Thank you. 1 mana discard spell. Hagok is still a deck. Our last league had 2x Hagok in it as well. I think I actually take Silvergill Adept here. I think I want to take Adept here. The goal is to kind of like 1-for-1 them out of this game. And Silvergill Adept is a 2-for-1, so. I think I just take a hit next turn and play the Mentor out. So their hand is now empty. So I'm actually going to pop off on their turn here because I want my blockers to be big. Watching Pidge Agent on YouTube and was thinking, after you said Pig kept getting bounced, maybe Rhythm of the Wild was the card you need to get the Pig in the red zone. Thoughts? I think Rhythm of the Wild is a very individually low power level card that I really am not interested in having in my deck. I think the fact that Domri already makes my stuff uncounterable makes that part of the text on Rhythm redundant. I think if I wanted to play something that gave haste, I would probably prefer to play... well, I could get Spell Pierced here, right? If they draw a Spell Pierce off of one of these Waterlogged Groves. Teferi can also bounce Rhythm. That's very true. Hopefully they're not on Spell Pierce with Force of Negation. 2, 3, 4. We're looking to dodge more. We're looking to dodge some more Island Walk Lords here. Are there some of their best draw? Yeah, Storm Count's 4. Want to just draw any instants and sorceries here, especially instant speed ones. How about an island, chat? How do you think an island feels? Dead to an Island Walk Lord again. If they draw an untapped land here, they get a redraw. Next turn, we get a draw step, we get a loot, and then we get a flashback with this Jace. No blocks. I'm gonna kill you. Opponents at 9, just haven't attacked them yet. So, when Jace exits and re-enters the battlefield, he triggers Revolt for Fatal Push. For those who are unfamiliar with that interaction. All the flip planeswalkers from Origins, when they turn into planeswalkers, they exit and then re-enter the battlefield. For good measure, I'm going to snap Murderous Cut, Akumena. No blocks, 30 you, yep. Monastery Mentor wins the game very, very quickly when it goes unchecked. How we doing, folks? Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping in here today. If you're a new viewer, my name is Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, sometimes even 50 hours a week. If you enjoy constructed Magic, this is definitely the channel for you. Every single morning during the week, we do a couple of leagues on Magic Online, Modern, Pauper, sometimes Legacy. Every afternoon, we do Standard on Magic Arena. As always, if you're interested in what we're playing and when, you can always find that detail listed in the stream title as well as the deck queue on my website. Love to give a shout out to my wonderful subscribers. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed. I'd also like to plug a couple of my sponsors here really quick. The Vitamin String Quartet makes unique instrumental string arrangements, everything from Zelda to Zeppelin, and they would love to underscore your next gaming session. You can find them streaming now on services such as Spotify and Apple Music. InkedGaming.com will have to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You save 12% on custom playmats, mousepad, binders, and bags with them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of artwork that they already have on their website, such as my own Hoaglandia branded merchandise. And of course, CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles using promo code Jeff5. You can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards there with them.
Don't make your life garbage time. Join us in Hoaglandia today by subscribing to Jeff Hoagland with Twitch Prime today.
We are 1-0 in this league with our Esper Mentor deck here. Went 3-2 with Jeskai Ascendancy combo before this one, so moving along slow and steady. For those of you that are here waiting for standard content, we'll likely be starting standard sometime between 11:30 and 12, so a little over an hour from now. I'm going to play at least 2 more matches with this deck, depending on how long they go. We might do more than that. Cuthbert, thank you for the 7 months of support. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate that. Welcome. Still here, still learning from your particular brand of sass. Listen, we try to be educational and a little bit amusing. Thanks for keeping me around, Cuthbert. Yes, Nivik, that's something I want to build into. So, my father is actually going to be coming down next month after Gen Con to build out my my actual long-term office space. So this space that I'm in right now is nice, but it's actually just the extra bedroom that we have in the basement. So we are going to be building out an actual like studio style space for me to stream from. It'll have some better mounted lighting and then like sound deadening and stuff like that. So that'll hopefully be together by the end of August. Yeah, this hand's great, right? Needs a third land, but it has all my colors, has a cantrip, has a removal spell, has a discard spell. Tron. Now, one thing, thinking about this particular deck that we are currently playing, is that we don't currently have... Does this deck have any way? This deck has one way to take an Engineer Chalice for one off the table. He says this is opponent untaps and draws a Chalice for one. This game really sucks sometimes, you know that? Yeah, I think this sideboard is misbuilt. I guess we have three mana Teferi. Could technically take it off the table too, I suppose. Thoughtseize is such an incredibly tilting card. You're just like, cast Thoughtseize, see my opponent has Stone Cold nothing, they untap and just like, draw runner. It's like, well, here we are. See the songs that you're singing, baby, ooh, say ooh. Oh, is this even real life? Is this even real life? Is it even? Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, oh, escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. Reality smasher followed by chalice. We are dead now. Mage Cub, thank you for the year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. You know, I don't know that we've ever sung lines from Bohemian Rhapsody on stream before. I feel like that's a bit of a miss on my part. I feel like that's probably the first time we've sung Bohemian Rhapsody on stream together before. Ah, rats. Darn opponent remembered their chalice trigger. Hey, cool down, Max. Thank you for the quarter of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Somewhere tucked away in my brain is almost every lyric to that song. Because Bohemian Rhapsody, that's true. This is generally speaking a skillless stream. Who likes doing this? Do we like doing this? I think I like doing this, huh? If I stack block the Smasher, I can't kill. They have a Karn in their hand is the issue. So like if I stack block the Smasher, I can't kill the Karn. Hey, Rigel, thanks for the 7 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. For people wondering why I'm conceding this, revealed a Walking Ballista. All right. What else do I want to cut here? I guess Force of Negation's actually kind of okay. It counters Chalice for free. Is Ashiok any good? I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. Not a whole lot we could do there. We thought Thoughtseize them in their hand was a little mediocre, and then the top of their deck just like rained down hellfire from above. sure. Yeah, I agree. Ashiok in general, I think is a great modern sideboard card right now. That being said, I don't think I want it in explicitly this matchup. I'm going to take the map here, take the Reshaper next turn. When did the logo change from pink here to Jester? A couple of days ago. It'd been a while since I'd been pink, so I updated my avatar in a lot of places. Must have been why I missed you or live. Oh, I guess I didn't consider that aspect. That people are used to looking for a logo and not a username. This is fine. Vomit. Definitely don't want my mentor going away forever. Triple thought. So what? We've shocked twice, and we fetched, and we've just actually done 11 damage to ourselves. Aw, Tannen, how you doing? Hope life's treating you well. Not your stream, just you. I appreciate it. Hope life is treating you well. So what's a 12th damage to ourselves between friends, really? When are we gonna unearth the Death Shadow? Asking the real questions. Shame Spiral, thank you for the 3/4 of a year of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Monster! Thank you for the 13 months. Family is wonderful. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna try out Teamfight Tactics. A lot of my off-stream time playing Underlords was like done on mobile, and Teamfight Tactics doesn't have an option for mobile. I just never beat this card right. Fair mid-range interactive deck gets slaughtered mercilessly by Tron lands. More modern news at 11. I also like. I'm most like when I was trying Underlords 2, I was kind of like annoyed with Magic, like, at the end of last season. And this current standard season does actually have fewer Time Ravelers in it, at least so far. So, I've been enjoying both modern and standard recently, so I don't really feel as compelled to branch out. Yeah, I don't like Riot because they treat their employees like garbage. You should Google, if you're not familiar with Riot as a company, I'd encourage you to Google Riot walkouts. And then remember that whenever you play a game made by them, you're supporting them and the culture that they create. So if there's an alternative to a Riot game that you like a similar amount, you should play the alternative instead. Until they get their act together and stop being awful. Oh, let's stand up, shall we? Been sitting for 2 hours. Stretch it out. I would like the record to reflect that Google is a verb, Watercat, and you can Google something using a similar product such as Bing or DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo is actually really good if you have security concerns. Can I ever beat Dredge game 1? Can we ever beat Dredge game 1? Real question. All right, so I'm gonna admit something that maybe I shouldn't admit here. When the person who submitted this deck list, I made one change to the deck list. The person who submitted this deck list had 2 main deck surgical extractions, and I put those surgical extractions in the sideboard, and I put these 2 Narsets that were in the sideboard in the main deck. So if we had gone incredibly deep and decided to metagame super aggressively, I would have 2 surgicals in my hand right now. Game 1. I believe in honesty though, so I'm gonna tell you what I did. The deck was submitted pre-bridge ban. So I felt like while Hagak still exists, it's a little bit weaker. So I felt like it was okay to cut the main deck surgicals. And let's find out. This mentor draw here is really good. If they don't floop a burn spell over here, we're gonna be in a pretty reasonable spot. Although, if these were both surgicals, we would destroy them and it wouldn't be close, right? We'd just be like, fire off 2 surgicals, double trigger mentor, activate my Jace, flashback my surgical. Alright, they missed on the conflag here. Monastery Mentor might get to do her thing and run away with the game here. All right, they hit a narc, and they've got two prized amalgams in the bin, so. Would that even be good? Uncertain. Someone in chat earlier was questioning if we still wanted Yixlid Jailer in our sideboard. I would say yes. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. Scour me. So we're scouring before we Jace, because I want to flip this Jace over. Do I Thoughtseize them here? It triggers Mentor again. I think I want to Thoughtseize them because it triggers Mentor. I guess I could Jace first and opt and see where we go from there. That's true, actually. Thoughtseize making giving Bloodghast taste is a big deal. That is very keepable. They've got another Faithless Looting over here. We are going to force the crap out of that one. Does Jailer turn off Snapcaster Mage? I don't think it does. Because if the Jailer's in play, Snapcaster adds the ability on top of it being removed. So I'm pretty sure Snapcaster still works. So, like, if, like, you Snapcaster something, give it flashback, and then a Yixlid Jailer comes into play before you actually flash the card back, then you don't get it. But if Yixlid Jailer's already in play and then you play Snapcaster, you get the Jailer. Alright, I think Mentor might actually pull us through here. So, like, this opt on their turn makes their attacks awful. And the next turn, I can Teferi, bounce something, Jace, flashback, a removal spell. And we might actually be getting set up to kill them here. Mentor is super impressive. The closing power on it is quite absurd. It's another Creeping Chill. If they hit enough Creeping Chills, we could die here. Notably, this Creeping Chill Dredge means that their next two Bloodghast have haste, which they hit. They've notably not found a Conflagrate yet, though, which is really good for us. So these blocks are pretty free. Because I have an opt. Oh, they attacked my Jace. Maybe I should have minus powered the Narcomoeba. Yeah, I probably should have minus powered the Narcomoeba. Not being able to flash something back with Jace next turn might bite us. I think I just want to dig for a removal spell here. Alright. Dear opponent, please don't have Conflagrate in hand. Don't Shriekhorn into a Conflagrate. Cathartic Reunion. Stinkweed Imp, sure. Are they dead? So I can get rid of 2 blockers, and then these each get +3 from casting 1, 2, 3. So this is 20, right? I can cast all of these. So they're dead, right? Hey, G Miller, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Wow, did we just beat Dredge game 1 without Graveyard Hate? I think that's what just happened. Because these Bloodghast can't block. So these don't matter. I mean, there's a reason Mentor's banned in Vintage, right? And they have 2 blockers. So they block my 2 5/5s, and then they take 20 from these. Yep. Restricted, banned, whatever. Restricted is the same thing as banned in that format, basically. Sans anti-cards. Celestial Purge, Path, Surgical, Yixlid Jailer, Ashiok, Narset, and Teferi are probably too slow. Fatal Push is pretty mediocre. I think I want the Unearth still. Unearth brings back Yixlid Jailer, so that probably almost certainly stays. Yeah, we have five good graveyard hate cards on the sideboard. I can see an argument for Spell Pierce being good here. How do you feel about Spell Pierce versus Time Raveler? I think I prefer the Time Raveler. I think bouncing their stuff is probably better. I have 6 discard spells. Leaving an extra mana up in the early game is kind of challenging as well. We're going to be tapping out a lot. Thoughts on this? I think I like it. Let's run it. It's all slow on the draw. Yeah, bouncing stuff they can't recast is pretty powerful. And by powerful, I mean passable. Passable is a good word. I have 8, 15. I have like 20 blue cards post board. I have Force of Negation. Easy keep, right? Force blue card. I think I'm keeping the 6. It's like not good, but it's in the range of keepable. We're going to bottom a... I think we're bottoming Celestial Purge. I think we're bottoming Purge. I think I want to Thought Scour to try and find a threat, and I have Force of Negation for their turn 1 looting. I think I just exile whatever their starter is here. Like, obviously, I'd have been happier tagging a Faithless Looting there, but Shreecorn's how they're going to get going, so... Hey, was that a good draw? What do we think? Do we keep this 6 every time if we know that's the one on top, or what? If they have Cathartic Reunion here, I'm a little bit sad that I forced aggressively, but... There's no guarantee I'm going to have another good force target here. Catch you later, Nivik. That bodes well for our hero. Our hero would like some spells. So Yixlid Jailer here. Cards in graveyards lose all abilities as a 2/1. So notably, if they have 3rd land and a 2nd Conflagrate, they can just kill my Yixlid Jailer with it here, because it is just a 2/1. Welcome to Sideboard the Gathering. Yeah, they wish they'd saved the Conflagrate for sure. Onward, upward, backward, forward. Beat Dredge game 1. Beat them game 2 as well with sideboard card. Heading on to the next one. Oh, modern. 2 and 1. Got to bat 500 to get our 3-2 real modern deck money back. The thunderiest of all the domes. There's a Pro Tour this weekend, right? Does anybody know? I meant to ask earlier. There's a Pro Tour this weekend, right? Can someone confirm that for me? It's a modern Pro Tour, right? I need to change my Friday schedule is going to change depending on how the time zones work out. So I'm probably not going to overlap the Pro Tour. I'll probably set myself up so I will start as the Pro Tour is finishing. Barcelona is 8 hours ahead of me, and their days usually finish about 5 or 6. I probably could start pretty close to my regular time, right? Because if they're finishing about like 6 o'clock, 6-ish Barcelona would be like 10 a.m. here, right? So I could probably start about 10 or 11, so I won't be starting that much later. Sweet, I can go to the gym Friday morning. In a world where I could wake up earlier, I would go to the gym before I worked every day because I prefer to go before rather than after, but that would require waking up at like 5 a.m. Mertzgassen, thank you for the 17 months. A full-term Hoaglandia baby, thank you for the continued Prime support tutors. Welcome back. My normal start time is 3 o'clock Barcelona. Okay, sweet. So, I'll probably plan to start about 10 or 11. What deck would you recommend against Eldrazi Tron? I actually like Elves a lot against Eldrazi Tron. I think that deck's pretty good there. Yeah, but if the kids get me up in order to go to the gym, I'd have to get Christy up at the same time, which is not ideal. Aria Flame. I actually can't kill Aria Flame game 1, so that's definitely the take. It's kind of funny to bounce with Teferi Time Raveler and gain extra life, but that's not worth the risk here. I really feel like Wizards should probably like, for instance, you see this scrolling banner underneath me? Wizards should probably promote their major events with Twitch streamers who like stream their games. That way people are like regularly here, know to expect it coming up, right? Like, could you imagine if like a month out or 6 weeks out from every Mythic Championship, just like every person who makes Magic content had a thing in their corner that said Pro Tour coming up on X dates? There you go. They pay the MPL players $2 million per year. Require all of them to have a banner ad promoting the next Pro Tour. They don't even have to give money to liabilities like me. And again, it's the little low effort things like that basically don't cost them extra money that Wizards of the Coast like doesn't understand about this industry and continually messes up on. It's like, well, this isn't really complicated, and it doesn't really cost you anything. You're already paying these MPL players to stream for you anyways. You might as well have them have a banner ad for you. I assume Time Raveler's dying. So I can snap Inquisition and path this as well. So that sounds pretty good. I kind of just want to snap Inquisition before they're out of cards in their hand, just like get rid of their critical mass basically. I think I'd rather take Thought Scour than Sleight of Hand here, honestly. Gives me the freedom to path this during the upkeep and not worry about it flipping or anything like that. Or them drawing a counterspell. Gives them one less land this turn. Yeah, fewer chances to give them a Phoenix in the graveyard too, which is a big deal. Would much prefer they spend a lot of mana to get Phoenix going. Isn't all the MC info on their website, mtgesports.net? Excellent. Excellent. All right, did you find a Phoenix? They found a burb. Would like another Snapcaster Mage. I'm still at 17, which is like relatively healthy. Another Snapcaster Mage, another path would be good. I have this Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which is going to get down and eventually snap back the path, assuming they don't find another bolt. Got some options to work through here. I'm gonna start by Thought Scouring, because if I Thought Scour a Snapcaster Mage, we get to put it back that way. If you have some suggestions, I'm sure someone is watching their PR email, mtgideabox@juno.com. Gosh, Juno. Juno. I had someone give me an AOL email address for something the other day. I think that's something I'm kind of, it's something I'm kind of not looking forward to is, Jake starting kindergarten in the fall and having to interact with, like, other parents, like, more normal people is not like something I much prefer the nerd culture. Like I know what I'm dealing with the Magic community, right? Dealing with random normal people is like dealing with muggles is not pleasant a lot of the time. They have strange cultures, chat. Muggles have very strange cultures. Lava Dart. Yep. Wait until you meet the Vaxxer parents. Listen. Let's just say I'm as blunt in person as I am online. I hope for their sake that I don't ever meet any anti-vaxxer parents in real life. They're gonna know the health hazard that they are if they meet me. Snapcaster Mage. That's actually just the best draw. So I get to push this off a cliff, and then I get to snap path this Arclight Phoenix. Christy, my wife has an email account that she has the spam filter turned off on that she uses to sign up for stuff, and I'm like, I just can't believe she sorts through it. Illinois man timed out several adults at local kindergarten. We're not fully at garbage time yet. My opponent's got a Faithless Looting in the bin, and I don't have a good answer to a follow-up Phoenix, and my clock is a little bit slow here. So, like, if my opponent flips me the bird again this turn, we could lose this still. I think that's too high of a risk, Steric. I also like kind of want to attack them with the Snapcaster Mages. Like I need to end the game. Giving them time gives them time to rebuild. The Ferocious Ferret checking in for half a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Welcome to everybody, by the way. Really awesome to see we got 1,200 people in here for Modern this morning. We'll be rolling along to some standard in about a half hour to 45 minutes. We got one more match after this one with this Esper Mentor deck. For someone who's new to my content and enjoys Magic's non-rotating formats, be sure to check out my website, magicesports.net. You can click Videos Modern. We do at least 2 Magic Online decks every single day around here, usually. On the bright side, most of the kindergarten parents will understand what your job is. I don't know if that's strictly true, Punchworthy. For the current... For a lot of people who have kids like my kids' age, not kids my age, but kids at the same age as my kids, Christy and I had kids younger than a lot of people do these days. Like, a lot of parents that we've interacted with through daycare and stuff tend to be like 5 or even 10 years older than we are sometimes. A lot of people don't have kids until they're into their 30s these days. It's true, though, that once the kids get to like 6 or 7, they'll be playing Fortnite, and the people will probably understand what Twitch is because their kids watch Fortnite. I didn't mean to call anybody old. I am just saying that, like, for every age someone gets past, let's say, 30, they're far less likely to know what Twitch is. Also, like, Twitch isn't even that big if you think about it, right? Like, we're all inside Twitch every day, so it's just, like, commonplace to a lot of us, or, like, a couple times a week. And, like, you go out into the real world, and a lot of people, even people younger than me, don't know what this platform is. I mentioned the other day I go into Smoothie King a lot, and, like, the people behind the counter there recognize me, and neither of the college kids working there knew what Twitch was when they asked me what I do for a living. And they were very early 20s, or late teens. Actually, it was funny. One of Christy's coworkers asked her if she knew what Twitch was, and then just automatically started explaining it to her like she would have no idea what it was because they just assumed she wouldn't know. It was really funny. Twitch splaining at its best, yep. Does she know? Christy has her own Twitch channel, thank you very much. She hasn't streamed on it in a while, but it exists. Rion, if you're in the subs Discord, can you tag me in a post on there letting me know that? Please and thank you. I appreciate it. There's in the article preview section, or Magic General or General, wherever it's convenient, and I'll grab it later. Yeah, we should do some Overwatch again at some point. I've actually, it's probably not going to be long before we can stream with Declan, too. Declan loves watching me play Overwatch recently. And I actually hooked a controller. I hooked the Nintendo Switch controller that we have up to our extra laptop. And he was actually moving around a little bit. He has a little bit of a hard time getting the full controls. But I think in another few months or a year at most, he'll definitely have a good handle on it. The role queue that they announced adding for Overwatch sounds like a good solid upgrade. We might just die to this Aria Flame this turn if they have a series of cantrips. So this card gives us 10 life when it comes into play. And then every time they cast a spell, it gets a counter and then deals damage to its equal to the number of counters on it. So the issue with Overwatch for him, Jin, isn't understanding what to do in the game mechanically. It's navigating with either the keyboard and the mouse at the same time to, like, walk and look, or use the two joysticks at the same time to walk and look. Because he does platformer games just fine, like Mario World type stuff, and Yoshi's Crafted World. Yeah, it's a hand-eye coordination thing, which he's been getting much better at pretty quickly, but he's not quite there yet. Hey, Scott R. Bowie, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub and for the half a year at that. My first Modern deck just got delivered by USPS, so I figured I should watch some more Modern. Well, awesome. I'm glad to have you here. Good to see more people dipping into Magic's older formats. And Auto Dingo coming in hot with the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. My like brain dead end of the day game of choice recently has been I've been playing, and it's pretty old at this point. I've been playing Killing Floor 2 in the evening for like half hour, 45 minutes. Just very, very, very easy, relaxed, just like don't have to really think, just point and click game that you play on a team with other people and you basically always win. It's very relaxing. Zowzy, thank you for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Oh, that's not a game Declan can play, because that one's very graphic. Love the content. Was wondering if you'd be interested in playing Maverick List if I submitted it for a Legacy League. I don't know on Maverick. Maverick's one that's been kind of rough in the past. The decks that aren't Brainstorm or Chalice the Void decks in Legacy tend to get beat up a little bit. No Conspiracy coming in hot with the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Are we dead? So this is going to do 4, 5, 6. I think we're actually just dead to the finale of Promise Aria Flame here. Yeah, right? Because it's going to do 5 plus 6. We're actually just dead this turn. God, that's brutal. It's really powerful. And they're on multiple Aria. This is their second copy. We Inquisitioned one earlier. Card seems super powerful. Alright, so Celestial Purge is a card that's great in this matchup and the format in general. I think I need explosives just because this deck, I kind of wish this deck had like a Detention Sphere in the sideboard. I've been playing 2 copies of Detention Sphere in my Jeskai Tempo sideboard. And I've been really happy with that card there. And I feel like I want some of that effect in this deck. Yeah, I played a lot of Diablo 2 growing up. That was Diablo 2 and the original Guild Wars were the 2 RPGs myself and my friend group played. We played Diablo 2, the original Guild Wars, and then Counter-Strike Source. Were the games we played during high school and undergrad in my group. Yeah, trimming Teferi seems fine. No, Teferi counters Finale. I want to keep Teferi. Teferi counters Finale. I'm going to trim a Vryn's Prodigy. It probably just dies a lot of the time. I think Ashiok's a little bit too slow. I wish I had like a third or possibly even a fourth way to take Aria Flame off the table with the 75. You ever do a box set like Beatdown or Battle Royale? No, we played Magic very casually growing up. And we also didn't have a ton of money growing up, so we had like the few booster packs that we had, and then we didn't really have a lot of cards past that. My mother was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad, we're just, middle class with 3 kids, so we didn't have it. Magic's an expensive hobby, so we played very casually, very minimalistically with Magic. Psychonaut, thank you for the third of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh, I don't have any black mana, but I have Dub's Narset, which is just kind of absurd here, right? So we're going to keep this and hope that this lives and gets to loot us into a third land. If they just reprinted Celestial Purge into M20, would Standard be discernibly different? I don't think so, Marty. It's a good draw, believe it or not. Sorry, Jace. Target opponent discards Lightning Bolt. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Enya. It's definitely a lot of fun. Very, very consistent deck. This is a matchup where Narset comes into play and then just doesn't downtick because turning off all of their draws is very powerful. Her static text is the big draw to her here. I don't know. I think I'm a big fan of the Tension Sphere in Modern. I am a vegetarian. I am not vegan. I think I should minus her because I have 2 of them. I don't know. Let's wait and see. I can always minus her next turn, right? Oh gosh, we're getting Magmatic Incited. Super punished for not minusing her. Okay. This is, yep, this card's very good. That's gonna be a tough one. Huh? I'm gonna ditch the explosives for now. I'm gonna slide this up. I'm gonna cast another Narset and just pass here, I think. I think it's correct to not down tick her still, since she's my last one. I don't want her to just die to a bolt. I think Bob's right, and I should have down ticked the first one. But the second one needs to just sit there, I think. No, I don't think that's strictly true, Grief. I also think there was a low probability they had Bolt since they didn't kill my Telepath Unbound. 3 mana Teferi doesn't bounce Planeswalkers. This card's obnoxious enough. If it could bounce Planeswalkers too, good lord. Good golly. To address Bob's specific point from a second ago about discarding the E when they have Saheeli out, I've got double Mentor, so I think that's fine. I think we're going to go toe-to-toe there on average a lot of the time. All right, so the hope here is we get to Raveler, bounce this, flashback Inquisition, take it away. I could get greedy and try and opt here into a Black Source, but I think that's too greedy. I'd much rather just guaranteed take the flame away. Should probably auto pass. They have double flame. They also don't have anything to do with it though, so that's pretty good. Yeah, the second flame's also putting us to 37. Which is real. And then next turn, we're going to go Mentor, cast Opt. Potentially Jace cast another Opt. Yes, Monastery Mentor is very, very good. Incredibly, incredibly powerful magic card. Closes super quickly. They drew an opt for the turn. Nope. I think they drew an opt and they just didn't. Teferi's locking them out of doing it on my turn. Second Mentor. Check out our options. Yep, and Narset stops it on their turn, exactly. Get my yield set up. Love an untapped black source here. He says as he tops one. Actually, do I just want to cast an opt again here? I think I do, right? I think I just want to keep the velocity going. I guess not having double black means I can't Fatal Push and Unearth in the same turn. And I think I just attack them at this point, right? Just like, hopefully kill them next turn. Had a really close game one. Looks like we're running away with this game even after our mishap with Narset earlier. Yep, they had the opt. So you get to kill my Telepath Unbound. Deal. Thanks for giving me a target for my... Enjoy your 1-mana Scry 1. You did. There's no glowing red circle of no on Magic Online. It's so unsatisfying. I know. It's so unsatisfying not having a glowing red no. There's conceding to any spell. What are the odds I was gonna have a spell in my 3 cards, or my 4 looks with Narset, or my draw step for the turn opponent? Did you think the chances were low? Yeah, Teferi's definitely great here. Huh? I'm gonna trim this Murderous Cut and put this Vryn's Prodigy back in. The card was pretty reasonable there. Yeah, Narset's really strong here. How has Modern been? Modern's been good, actually. This is this match 4 of this league? We played all 5 with JAC, and then I don't remember if this is match 3 or 4. Or 4 or 5. I think it's 4. This is a fine keep. Not amazing, but fine. Bottom of Inquisition here. Oh, that's true. What if they lock Brawl into best of one only? People have been asking me if I'm going to play Brawl on stream. If it's best of one only, we're not. You know, maybe I'm actually supposed to opt on 1, because then I can opt plus Swamp on 2, and then I don't get Spell Pierced here. Yeah, I think I'm actually supposed to Inquisition on 2 here, the way my mana lines up. Yeah, I bet it does too, Jin. And if that's the case, we likely won't be playing it. Yeah, because like now, I guess they could have Spell Pierced my turn 2 discard spell here still. Is this deck good? I have no. It's playing a lot of good cards. The average card quality in our deck is high. So, Brawl and Commander as a whole are casual formats, and casual formats don't really have tournament settings, but as soon as you put a Q on Arena, it becomes kind of less casual. Yeah, but you can still play best of 3 even without sideboards. Just for the record. Nah, ain't nobody got time to play around Blood Moon. Well, I don't think I really want a second Surgical here, but we don't have a choice on that. I didn't even think about that. That was one of the reasons why we didn't end up playing Commander on Magic Online, because Best of 1 only kind of sucks. So they have Bolt, Anger, Arclight, Sinkhole, Engineered Explosives. Hey, what's going on, Karn? Yeah, the general game plan is to play Magic Online from 8 until about sometime between 11 and 12. Unless we have, like, an exceptionally bad deck and bail early. That's true. Making the queue best of 1 means that the queue will turn over faster. So if there's a smaller player base, you'll get through to them more often, or more quickly. I don't know. It's probably fine. Do I want to play this? I feel like I don't want to play this Mentor out into the Anger of the Gods that they have in their hand. I think I want to wait till I try and draw another Inquisition. I don't have a no-fly list. If you want to submit a deck to be played, submit it using the form on my website. And I'll let you know if it's something I'm willing to do or not. In general, I'm not a huge fan of the Devoted Druid decks, not only because they're kind of tedious to click through, but also because they just don't feel very good most of the time when we play them. This is your friendly reminder that Modern has a lot of games that just suck. And, like, I could have fetched a basic Plains here, but even with fetching a basic Plains, we're incredibly unlikely to beat this Blood Moon. Which is why, while this deck is kind of fun and does, like, interesting things, I would never play a deck like this in a meaningful tournament that I really cared about, because there's going to be just way too many games where you just, like, die to random crap like Blood Moon. No, there isn't a no-fly list, Niv. The minimum money you have to send in for something like Lantern to be played is much higher, but I don't have a strict I'm not playing these things list. We're all about the little details around here, Jin. All about the little details. Yeah, I agree. The amount of Blood Moon that actually gets played is minimal. It, like, feels bad when you lose to it, but it kind of is what it is. I'm gonna take Lieutenant here. Yeah, I'm not telling you I won't play your deck. I'm just saying I won't play your deck for $10. Try again with more money. Or 25 or whatever for Modern. It must not have been an open, because I've never won an open before. Alright, if we find a removal spell here, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Get a number of looks. And I guess the Thought Scour gives me extra looks too, right? Because any cards I flip over, this Jace can flash back. Thoughtseize. So many phantasmal images. I guess Phantasmal Image isn't actually that good against this Jace Telepath Unbound. But they can also double Phantasmal Image here, right? And then attack it down, which would be a bad scene for me. Not finding any of our removal spells in the top 15 cards of our deck feels a little bit bad. If we find one next turn, we might be okay. But the window is closing. If we brick on this opt plus our draw step as far as drawing a removal spell goes, we'll probably flashback the opt with the Jace Telepath Unbound. The best Q&A from your submission FAQ site. What else can I pay you to do on stream? Answer, I don't know. How much money do you have? Listen, we're all about playing above the board here. They named Fatal Push, which is a good name. We haven't shown them any colors of mana other than blue and black so far. So there's a reasonable chance that we don't have things like Path and stuff like that. Murderous Cut is an absurd draw. Monastery Mentor? Monastery Mentor? Monastery Mentor? Watch this one named Murderous Cut. Cryptic Command. God bless you, opponent. No Ghost Arena. No, this is an actual Meddling Mage. They still have Phantasmal Image as their last card. So Snap's pretty good here because you can delve when Snapcaster Mage flashes back Murderous Cut. And I have enough stuff in my bin here with this fetch land that I can cut for one, snap cut for one. I guess Phantasmal Image plus one card I don't currently know in their hand. Sorry about that. So I think because they only attacked with one thing here, I'm actually going to go ahead and just Murderous Cut for 3, because my graveyard's a pretty valuable resource in this deck for like Jace and other things like that. He says as he draws another Snapcaster Mage. I'm gonna go ahead and just take this Phantasmal Image. I think that's fine. Not plussing on the Jace here encourages them to attack with both Meddling Mages, which would allow me to flash in Snapcaster Mage, block one, cut the other. Nah, Murderous Cut and Standard with fetches wasn't that bad. If you think about it, by the time it becomes better than like actual murder, like because there aren't like 1-mana discard spells. Like the things that Murderous Cut really, when Murderous Cut really, like even in this format, Murderous Cut doesn't see that much play, just because having a removal spell that you can always cast for 1 mana like Fatal Push or Path is a really big deal. There's Thoughtseize in the same standard as Cut. Oh, gross, you're right. There wasn't there? And even that, it didn't see a lot of play, right? Thought Scour saw more play because he generated value. Oh, you know what? I should have blocked the other way there. In the event that something funky happened in combat, it's more important that I kill the one naming Fatal Push than something else. Another Meddling Mage, sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Dig and Cruise were legal. Gosh, I miss casting Dig Through Time. That card was just the purest of delights to cast. Dig Through Time was such a treat. If Fish Through Time was an instant, that would be fine, but it's not an instant. It's really not an instant. Instant speed's a big deal. Was that a good turn? How do we feel about that turn, chat? Potentially above average? Potentially above average? I like Fish Through Time, I think. Dig Through Brine is fine, but I think I like Fish Through Time best. I miss playing Burn with Treasure Cruise. Oh, late line of anticipation. I'm gonna block here because this dies and this stays at 3, and I can downtick this to cast Unearth, and then Unearth gets back Snapcaster Mage, and Snapcaster Mage casts Thought Scour. Get to have a pretty above average turn. I can't cast Fatal Push because there is a Meddling Mage naming Fatal Push. What is Fish Through Time? There's a 4-mana sorcery in Standard right now that's Dig Through Time. But it's 4 mana all the time and it's a sorcery. Look at your top 7, take 2. Drawn from dreams. Hey, look at that. We got to untap with a Mentor. So I think I actually want to play this out before I play this. It's an efficient salt generator. It does win the game very absolutely. Yeah, with Kefnet, it's very close to actual factual dig through time. Opponent has decided they can no longer win. I'm inclined to agree. It does have fish in the artwork. Yeah, that's where the fish through time comes from. All right, this is going to be our last match of Modern here today. I appreciate everybody showing up for our non-rotating format here in the morning. We're going to be rolling on along to some Standard here momentarily on Magic Arena. I think I want to trim the forces for sure. Narset seem fine to cut. And then probably like a Thoughtseize here. Just want to like bring in a bunch of spells that play to the board and interact with their creatures they're putting into play. I don't think Stony Silence is worth bringing in just to shut off Aether Vial. So I think I'm going to run it back here like this. Yeah, I think so. Tintin. I think having a very clear best deck makes brewing easier, actually, because it gives you a deck that you can aim to beat and have somewhat amount of success in the format. But again, I like to focus on the fact that like the small amount of issues I have with the current Standard format are largely due to play patterns generated by cards like Teferi, more so than there being a variety of decks. Like there being a variety of decks is fine, and that's something that a lot of people find really enjoyable. And I don't have a problem with that. The problem is when you have cards like this that basically say your opponent doesn't get to play Magic effectively. Yeah, there was a schedule change like a month ago. As always, you can find the schedule on my website. The plan between now and rotation is to do 2 Magic Online leagues every single morning, and then we'll roll into Standard sometime between 11 and noon, depending on when the Magic Online leagues finish up. Dying slowly. Thank you for the 2/3 of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And then some days, like yesterday, we'll go super late with Standard. I think we went till 5 or 6 o'clock yesterday. And then today, I probably plan to go till about 3, maybe 3:30. So we'll probably do like 3 Standard decks today. So two Moto decks, and then somewhere between like 3 and 5 Standard decks per day. Variety is the spice of life. Yep, yeah, my last sub-survey had responses from 70% of people saying they enjoyed some amount of Modern content, so I think that's a high enough percentage to warrant doing 2 a day when Standard's kind of just okay. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be doing more Underlords. I actually tweeted about it this morning. The numbers for Underlords were pretty bad after the first couple of days, and then I'm not really enjoying their latest patch. They changed the game to make it a lot faster, and I just don't really enjoy that. Yep, yeah, I heard that a lot too, Juan. I try to talk about what the cards do, but I definitely miss some of them because there's just so many different cards in this format. If Wizards actually cared about Magic Online like they've claimed to in the past, they would take the effort to make there be a mouse overlay like we have for Arena. What did my last sub-survey say about Legacy? It was like 40%, 30 or 40%. I don't actually have to make stuff up. I can look up the metric. No, I agree with you on, like, ideally we'd have a mouse overlay for this application too. Legacy was 36%, which means Legacy being priced at $50 a league is probably appropriate. That seems to be like the right price for to have people submit things on occasion, but to not have there be a ton of it. Huh. I think I take the Phantasmal image here, because this Engineered Explosives is going to be really good, right? Standard was just shy of 90%. So a majority Didn't someone from Not Wizards make the Arena overlay? That's true, but Arena made that overlay possible. So Magic Online doesn't have a text file or an API that you can pull information from. So Wizards enabling the data dump from Arena makes that possible, and they could do something similar for this application. That's true. When Deckmaster works, it's very, very good. So I probably want to avoid pathing them in an ideal world here, right? So I think my plan here is to pass. And then when they attack for 3, I'm going to Fatal Push the 2/2 and take 1. When do you get your sword? Right now. Let's fix that up here. Opponent holding back their other 1-drops. They don't want to get 2 for 1. They don't want to get worse than 2 for 1 by this engineered explosives. Which this will give me some breathing room. Hey, Night Stars, thank you for the 17 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So their hand right now is Mantis Rider, Grafdigger's Cage, Champion of the Parish. Oh, you know what? I should have left up Fatal Push here and not Path to Exile, right? That's a mistake. I didn't adjust my plan when I drew Fatal Push for the turn. Humans usually play 2 basics. Usually there's an island and a plains. So I've given them a second land tier that I didn't have to give them if I would have tapped my lands differently there. So this Jace is going to flashback Inquisition and probably take the Grafdigger's Cage. Oh, that's a hand. With the Unearth drawn especially, though, I need to take the cage away. Yeah, looks like Goldfish deleted the link. There's a Twitch Rivals thing on the 31st. Did they just announce it, Marty? I'll have to message my rep if so. Is it constructed? Yeah, but I want to blow up the engineered explosives. I'm kind of surprised they left Phantasmal Images in against our Jace. I'm gonna go ahead and clear these out. So their hand right now is Image, Rider, one card I don't know. Hello, lovely wife. Wow, you brought a lot of stuff down. You weren't sure what kind of dressing I wanted?
Well, do you want wontons or garlic and butter croutons?
Oh, there's so many decisions.
TikTok.
TikTok. I don't, croutons. Oh, no, these are open. I'll have these.
There's not very many in there, though, so
Okay,
it
good,
doesn't
good.
matter. There's both, though. I mean, I have more upstairs of both.
Alright, so we get to do this, make some tokens. I have an Unearth and an Opt and a Snapcaster Mage.
Do you know this is the best way to put the salad dressing on your salad?
Oh, it's a shaken. She's tossing my salad. Is this legal on stream?
Get out of here. You need to shake it more. It's not appropriately shaken.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get my Snapcaster Mage back and then cast an Opt. I think I was looking for like cheap instants and sorceries. Get to Thought Scour, trigger my dorks. It's not really a cheap instant. It's an instant, but it's not a cheap instant. Is pathing my own thing lethal? This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then, yeah, if I path this token, they take 15. Alright, so we finished 3 and 2. Hey, Rain Spider, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So, we went 3 and 2. This deck is fun as far as, like, fair decks are concerned. This was... one of our losses in that league was to one of the problems that Esper's always had in this format, which is that we died to Blood Moon, and there really isn't anything super meaningful you can do to make yourself that much better against Blood Moon. Like, Force of Negation and Spell Pierce help a little bit to a degree, but there's just going to be a number of games where, especially when you're on the draw, the Blood Moon's just going to happen, or it's going to come off the top of the deck after you discard spell them, and you're just going to lose to it. And it sucks, and that's just kind of part of Magic and Modern, honestly, especially if you're going to play colors like this. So, if you're looking for a fair interactive deck that actually had a pretty good amount of closing power behind Mentor, Unearth gave this deck a really awesome angle of attack, whether it was like unearthing Snapcaster Mages to unearth more threats, or Vryn's Prodigy and stuff like that. All the things kind of tied together well, but you are still gonna have a hard time with things like Blood Moon, like I said. All right, so that's gonna end our